Now, the most common measure to compute the general price level in an economy is the Consumer Price Index, which measures the overall cost of a representative basket of consumer goods and services purchased by an average household. Now, we'll look at one method to compute the CPI, which is the Laspeyres Index method, in which we fix the quantities in the CPI basket in the base year, and then these quantities apply to all of the years and not just the base year. What changes from one year to the other year is going to be the price, because the quantity weights that we're going to be using when making use of the Laspeyres Index method is the base year quantity. So the CPI in the current year is going to be the cost of the fixed CPI basket at current year prices, which is basically base year quantities at current year prices divided by the cost of the fixed CPI basket at base year prices. So we're computing base year quantities at base year prices. Now we'll look at this example in order to see how can we compute the CPI for year 2020, 2021, and 2020, where we're using 2020 as the base year. Now, since 2020 is the base year, we will make use of 2020 quantities when using the Laspeyres Index method. So regardless of whether we're computing the cost of the basket in any year, the quantities that we will use for any year are going to be 2020 quantities, but we'll use that particular year's prices when computing the cost of the CPI basket in that year. So for example, if you want to find the CPI for 2020, since that's the base year, so in that case, that's the current year as well, and the CPI for the base year is always 100. But if you want to find the CPI for 2021, it's going to be the cost of the CPI basket at 2021 prices, which is going to be that we're going to take 2020 quantities at 2021 prices. So it's going to be 8 into 17 plus 5 into 8 divided by the cost of the CPI basket at 2020 prices, which is 2020 quantity at 2020 prices. So using this, we can get a CPI value for 2021 to 124.8. And if you want to do it similarly for 2022, we'll take the cost of the fixed CPI basket at 2022 prices. So that's going to be 2020 quantity at 2022 prices. So it's going to be 8 into 15 plus 5 into 6. And obviously, we'll still take the cost of the CPI basket at a base year 2020 prices. And this would give us a CPI value for 2022 of 106.4. So key thing to remember is that when we use the Laspeyres Index method to find the CPI, so you will be fixing the quantities of the base year, and that will be used to calculate the cost of the CPI basket in any year. What changes from one year to the other when you're finding the cost of CPI basket in any year is just going to be the prices for those years, but we'll still be using base year quantities.